Hello, I'm John McAllister, and welcome to the John McAllister Report. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing a linebacker from Lakota West High School who made the commitment to the Naval Academy. Jacob Asbeck is a undersized linebacker, maybe 6'1", 200 pounds. He plays at Lakota West. He's an outside linebacker, but he can run and he can change direction, and he's physical. He's a really good, tough football player. And I'm excited to talk to him. A lot of it will be about the Naval Academy, why he chose that, and what he's looking forward to with the Naval Academy. And then also, obviously, I want to talk about him as a person and get some of his thoughts on what it's like to play football. So if you'll sit back and enjoy my video podcast with Jacob Asbeck from Lakota West High School and soon to be going to the Naval Academy. As I said earlier, my guest is Jacob Asbeck from Lakota West High School near Cincinnati. And 6'1", 200-pound linebacker is committed to Navy. But I'm so anxious to talk to him about, the whole process, but also about Lakota West. Good football program.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good to see you. I told you I'm not going to get into detail, but John Siebelauer is related to your dad.
Yep.
And he's a really good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know that name.
We're all getting old, man. I mean, not you, but okay. Let's talk about Navy first. Your commitment to Navy. Why Navy?
For me, I think that the opportunities that it gives me, not just with football, but afterwards, like after football and after graduation from the actual academy, I think that those are superb. I don't think that those compare to any other college that there is. I think, to be honest, I didn't know a whole lot about Navy and what a service academy would be like up until this summer when I got to go and take a visit up there. But I found out a lot and I learned a lot, and I decided that would ultimately be the best path for me, and that is what I would really, really like to do.
That's really good. Well, when I was coaching years and years ago, I had a player go to West Point, and
Yep.
he was not as good as you are, but he was okay, but small school. And we were playing golf after his first year. And I said, well, you upset at the old coach for getting you into West Point? And he goes, not anymore. I think it was really, really tough. But anyway, That's exciting for you. What are you going to major in? Do you know yet?
That I'm still undecided, but I'm pretty sure that I don't have to decide my major until like the spring of my freshman year, so more towards the end. But right now, I'm decided.
That's good. Now, what's the commitment? And we'll go to something else.
What do you mean, like the service commitment afterwards?
Once you commit to Navy, what's your commitment after 4 years or whatever?
Okay, sure. So my commitment afterwards is after I graduate from the academy, I have to serve for 5 years. So I will be an officer in the military, in the Navy, for 5 years. And I can choose to either stay in and pursue a military career, or I can leave and then go into the workforce after.
It's really good and build up a heck of a background. The crazy thing is you're going there free, but you also get paid, don't you?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's talk about Lakota West. You guys had a pretty good season, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What makes Lakota West special?
I think that the main thing that makes Lakota West special is our culture. I think that beforehand, I didn't really think that we had much culture, but I think once Coach Bolden came in and things got rolling, I think that we developed a really, really strong culture and just a brotherhood there. And I think that that shows in our play, in our talent levels, and how we work together as a team.
You know, that's so important,
Mm-hmm.
much more than it ever was.
Yes,
Culture, culture. Obviously, the Navy culture is going to be pretty good
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
So, why football, Jacob?
I've just been playing football my whole life, and it's kind of been. I mean, I play other sports. I play baseball. I play basketball, but I think that just there's always been something different about football for me. I think that for as long as I can remember, I've been playing. For as long as I can remember, I loved it. Like it's the most emotional sport for me. I feel like I'm able to put my heart and soul into the game when I'm out on the field, and I love it. I love every aspect of it.
And you play with that on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You play with that emotion. I've watched your highlight film. I actually saw you last year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you. I forget who you were playing because I tried to get to a game, and the only thing is, you just lack the size right now that everybody looks at.
Yeah.
But that's so silly. I'm going to preach a minute because you do get bigger.
Yeah.
You get stronger. You eat. You lift weights, and so go ahead. What's been kind of driving anybody a driving force behind you? Anybody? And I don't mean that in a negative way. Anybody kind of pushed you along the way?
I think that. Sorry.
Encouraged would be another word.
Yeah, I think that my dad's been my main encourager. Probably. I mean, he's just been there with me, and he went through the whole process too. I mean, he played high school football. He actually won a state championship. His senior year. So I mean, but he's been in my shoes, and I mean, he's just been kind of guiding me through it and kind of walking me through the process. And I think he's just been a really big motivator for me throughout all of it.
And by the way, I saw his game.
Really?
I saw this championship game. It was at the Ohio Stadium. I mean, it was Ohio State, I'm sure. Yep. And he played quarterback, I'm sure, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm trying to think of all that stuff right now. But, old man, I'm still thinking about that. No.
Yeah.
And you know what he was? He was I don't know how great a quarterback he was, but he was aggressive, mm-hmm. and he was really driven.
Yes.
As a quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned baseball earlier, basketball. How important is it to play three sports?
I think that
more than one. I'm sorry. More than
I think that playing multiple sports is good because it gets you better at your best. I think that because playing multiple sports, it's different movements, it's different like mechanics, especially like for the baseball and football contrast, it's different reads. Like for me, I'm an outfielder, so I'm making different reads. Like I'm making reads on the baseball, and I have different mechanics for my swing, but it allows me to use my hips better, allows me to track the ball better, which helps me in football when I'm out in space, when I'm hitting. It's just the mechanics are different, but they all translate into one. And I think that being able to apply yourself to multiple different aspects makes you better all around and makes you more of a well-rounded athlete.
Yeah, I'm going to have to tape that and sell that because that's what you just said. Now, track, to me, if I'm a sprinter, there's nothing like lining up in lane 4 or 5
mm-hmm.
and knowing you've got to beat the best.
Yeah.
Where you are in lane 4 or 5, you probably are. But I just think that competitive drive in track. Baseball, I was a catcher. So, you learned a lot of different skills there. Basketball, you played varsity basketball at Lakota West?
No, I quit. I'm just varsity baseball and football.
Right. What? That's you're at a Division I school. I mean, you're at a big school at West and everything. And that's really good. What are words, Jacob, you live by? Well, I have in my office here. I have sayings. I have 1 and 2 word things, sayings and stuff. What are words that you live by?
I think probably one of the biggest sayings that I live by is probably faith over fear. I think that that's the biggest thing for me because, I mean, it's just, I think that faith is ultimately bigger than the fears that you have. And for me, like something that I like to do before games and preparation is pray a lot. And I think that gets me in the right mindset and gets me ready to go. And I think that allows me to play at my best and allows me to play freely. So I think that's probably my number one.
Okay. I call it scrapbook moment. Okay. Is there a top play or two plays that you can talk about when you get back with your buddies here in 5, 8 years, and you'll still be blowing smoke about that play? Any play like that, Jacob?
Shoot. I think there's got to be one. I mean, probably from, I guess, Hamilton. When I had my pick six against Hamilton, that's probably one of my favorite plays of the season. We were tied with them at halftime and kind of got ripped during the half and came out. We had to make a change, had to make a turnaround, and came out, made a big play, got things going. But yeah.
Was that Hamilton coming out and you were playing outside linebacker? They were coming out from almost from the end zone, weren't they?
Yeah, they were on like the 20 or 30, I think.
In front of the guy?
Yeah.
No, that had to be exciting.
Yes, sir.
See, we'll talk about that in a minute, about your skills. Okay, as you go on to college now, what are some things you have to work on? Excuse me.
I think my biggest thing for the position that I'm going to be playing, I think I need to still keep working on my pass coverage skills and my pass rush skills. I think that those are probably the best, and being able to play in space. I think that for the position that I'll be playing, it's very similar to what I played this year at Lakota West.
Okay.
So I think that just to be as best as I can at the skills that I'll need the most is ideal.
Okay, so what position do they want you to play?
It's their striker position.
Striker position. Is that as an outside linebacker?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then, okay, some things, strengths. What else are some of your strengths?
I'd say that physicality is probably one of my strengths. I just like to play hard-nosed football most of the time. I like to hit. I like to get after it. My speed, I think that I use my speed well, especially when tracking people down and getting to the ball. I think that pass rushing is one of my strengths. I didn't get to do it as much this year as I did last year, but I think that that's one of my strengths. And then I'd say probably being able to tackle in the open field too.
Yeah, good. You pass you check the boxes there. Here's what I would tell you. Okay, number one, you can run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and really, you've done it better than a lot of players I watch. You can change direction or redirect or whatever they want to call it, but you've got quick feet. If you see, and I'm just going off your highlights, but you can change direction, and that's so important. And you do that with playing outside linebacker too. Mm-hmm. And I think you've got good speed, but your final burst may be better than anything else. Work on your initial burst, and that comes with strength. Mm-hmm. I think but your final burst, finishing the play, is really good. You make where you finish and make. Mm-hmm. And I think the other thing that I don't say this, you're able to slide through blocks, and I think that's huge. Into that, you don't play linebacker anymore like the old days where you want to take everybody on and shed and shield. Man, I call it sliding through blocks.
Yep.
And it's not really, it's still tough. Mm-hmm. But okay, those are some things that I really like. Let me see. Pursuit speed. And the other thing you do is you can tackle for loss. Because when that sweep's coming, you have that burst. Wow. Work on, I think you just have to get bigger and stronger.
Yes, sir.
And improve everything. But like I told you before we came on, Jacob, I think you're better than maybe a lot of people have given you credit for. But, who am I? I don't miss very many. But anyway, let's talk about, last thing I want to tell you about that. Mm-hmm. Now, someday you may be 6'1", 230 and playing that inside backer
Yeah, I know. I'm
Try-
I'm I'm honestly fine with it. Wherever I'm at, I'm fine with it.
oh, for sure. Yeah, I understand that.
Mhm.
Okay. I got to get going here a little bit. I talked about what would be advice? I've always liked this question. What advice would you give to a freshman?
To a freshman, my advice would probably be to listen to your upperclassmen, listen to your leaders, listen to your coaches, especially. Do the right thing when no one's watching. And I think one of the biggest things is just discipline. I think that discipline is probably one of the biggest words and just overall like ideas that is like great. Because I mean, motivation will wear itself out sometimes, but how disciplined you are was what really keeps you going. So I think that probably discipline is one of the biggest factors.
Okay, just a few more questions. Best thing about playing football, you probably talked about it earlier. What's the very best thing?
The best thing about playing football for me is that I get to express myself in like ways that I wouldn't normally express myself in everyday life. Like just being out on the field on Friday nights for me is just something that like it's just something that I love and something that I love to do. Like just getting hyped up with my team, just being able to be around them, just every day of the week throughout the summer, all of it. Just being able to just get hyped up with them and everything. I think that that's huge.
I agree. And I think we make them, I think football is the best team sport
I agree.
because, I mean, you got baseball, yeah, but football, you can play 22 guys at a time,
Hmm.
you got backups and things like that. And it's so important. Sometimes even your weakest link can hurt you
Yeah.
and you don't want that.
Our
Okay.
coaches tell us all the time, especially Coach B, and especially on the defensive side of the ball, it's just do your job, do your assignment. We do. If each and every single person does their individual job and assignment, then we're good. We're unstoppable.
Good. Energy is huge. Okay, energy. I have energy. I'm 75 years old and I still have energy to do the things I want to do. What kind of energy are you going to bring to the Naval Academy?
I
When
think
you
just
get
a
there, what kind of energy are you going to bring?
I think just a pumped up, go get 'em attitude, just a head down, head to the ground, nose to the grindstone, just type of attitude. Just get after it every day and don't look back.
And you'll have some of that during your classes and things like that too. You're going to have
Mhm.
to grind, aren't you?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Are you going to come in and you got to try the very best you can be as a
yep,
freshman, right?
yes sir.
Super. Okay. Was there ever a time, and I think this is an important question for me, was there ever a time when you knew the light came on? When you knew the light came on?
I think that I want to say it was probably midway through my sophomore year was when I think that moment probably hit for me. I think that was when kind of everything just clicked. Because I was coming in, I actually transferred in to Lakota West my sophomore year, and I
Right.
was a sophomore, and I mean, our team was phenomenal. We had a lot of really, really good players, and I came in, whole new school, whole new program, and I was fighting for a spot, fighting for playing time and all that, and I eventually ended up getting it. I think it was probably the third or fourth game of the season, and I earned a starting spot, and I think that as things got rolling, I think just everything started to click for me, and I was like, "This is it! Like this is it."
And you got to step up.
Hmm.
Okay. That's really good. Okay. Best quality as a person, not football, or a person. What's your best quality?
I think my best quality is probably just my kindness. I feel like I'm there for a lot of people. Like I love hanging around my friends and being with my guys and my family, and I think that I'm there for them a lot, and they're there for me. And I think that it translates into a lot of things I do.
So what would it be? Kindness?
My kindness.
So are you one of those guys that I call the white line guy? That I could be talking to you outside the white line and joking around and everything, and as soon as you cross over to the field, you're like an animal.
Yep.
Is
Yes,
that
sir.
are you one of those guys?
Yes, sir.
I bet you are.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see. And last question. What sets you apart from other players?
I think that the main thing that sets me apart from other players is my ability to just work. I think that one of the biggest things that I think I hold myself accountable a lot, and I think that that's something that gives me an edge. And I try when I play. I try to always play with a chip on my shoulder, no matter how like good I think I am, or no matter how good I am compared to somebody else. I think I always try to play like I'm the underdog, because I think that that gives me the mentality of being able to say, like, to respect my opponent,
Yeah.
to always respect my opponent. And I think that that gives me that mentality to go out there and just go 100% each and every play.
So that chip is like a brick, right?
Yeah.
It's not a cement block. It's a
Mhm.
brick, right? Because
Yeah.
I always use that analogy. I think you have to have a brick. I think you have to have, a chip, because that helps you. Not being a jerk so much, just helps you be better.
Mhm.
Okay. I really appreciate you being on my show.
Yep. I
I
appreciate you having me out.
I've looked forward to it. Number one, because I watched you play, and when I was a kid, I didn't have quite the red hair you did.
Yeah.
I was close. But number two, it's just that your character and things like that are so important for people to watch. And again, thank you very much,
Yes,
Jacob Asbeck, and I'll pronounce that correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate it, Mr. McAllister.
Thank you.
All right.